AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Come on. Come on. Breaking. Y'all know what this is.
KNICKS REHAB.
Let the people come in. Let them follow. We will keep you updated on the latest Giannis news. All you morons that don't want Giannis here. What kind of basketball fans are you? What kind of sports fans are you? Only 4 guys in the building. Hit that like button so it gets shared. Dog Night, what's going on, baby Bubba? In the meantime, in between time, y'all know who I be. From the gods. Yeah. Where we at with it? Hey, 17 people in the building, AllBall TV. Hit that like button. Let it be shared. Let it be known. We in the building. We got a membership button. Join that. We got 3 levels. Got the normal, got the super love, and we got that Zah. Roll up with us. Stop playing. We smoking them out here. All of them. Supposed to be content creators. They don't have this level of integrity, honesty, and straight up entertainment. Are you kidding me? Before the WWF changed their name. I don't even call them WWE. That shit is trash. But I digress. Giannis Antetokounmpo apparently is done with the Knicks. Are you kidding me? That's what they're reporting now. It's over. They are not chasing Giannis Antetokounmpo. The New York Knicks pissing me off. Let's start off with the fact that we are here. We're in the midst. The trade deadline is on its way. And of course, Shams Charania reports, hey, the Bucks plan to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo by the trade deadline, not the offseason. Bucks submitting a counter offers to the Heat, to the Knicks, to the Warriors, and the Timberwolves. We are seeing a Giannis trade in the upcoming 3 days. That is Shams. Why is this important? Because Giannis is due for the super max extension before the trade deadline. He can get more money now before the trade deadline than if he tries to sign an extension afterwards. A total 180 and a difference between what Jalen Brunson did, what the Supernova Knicks have done. They all took less money to make sure that other people's contracts can be fulfilled. Of course, we got Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride on cheaper contracts. They're playing amazing. Chat, what's going on? Love y'all. You don't have any first-round picks. Skywalker, who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? You make it happen. You make it happen. If you are Leon Rose, if you are Jalen Brunson, you make it happen. You make this thing go down. Why? Because you plan for this thing to be a championship. And as presently constituted, chat, can you honestly ask yourselves, hey, this is a championship. Is this a championship? Can you answer that question with truth? As we are presently constituted, don't talk to me about the changes that Mike Brown's going to make. Cole is going to step up. McBride's going to step up. This guy's going to step up. Sham has been injury prone. Mitchell Robinson is injury prone. Cat is not playing to his standard. OG up and down. Mikal Bridges up and down. You see it there. Giannis is up for trade within the next 3 days before the trade deadline. It is not a joke. It is not some sort of fake news. None of the above. It is here to stay. And of course, Brian Windhorst of ESPN, he has decided that he shall report on this. from ESPN. Hold on, let me get my disclaimer up because I ain't playing with ESPN and these dudes. They're gonna try to get us out of here. But you know what? You ain't getting me up out of here. I got the little disclaimer. Pop! There you go. We can still hear you, Brian Windhorst. Reporter for us, big dog.
The Knicks believe in this team, Greeny, and that could end up being, an excellent assessment, or that could end up being a mistake. But they believed in this team last summer when Giannis was sort of loosely available in those discussions. They didn't make an aggressive offer at that time to progress those talks. If they want to win a bidding war for Giannis now, I think it's going to take a 3 or 4 team trade where they take some of their players, go out and get other assets for them, and then come back to the Bucks and make very strong offers. That is just not happening. They are not showing that aggression to get Giannis right now, and I think that's because they like this team. They don't think the Eastern Conference is a giant mountain to climb, and while this team has flaws, the entire East is limited in some capacity. And so, look, if Giannis doesn't get traded and the Knicks don't win the East this year, this could be revisited. But the Knicks, with their words and actions, what Jim Dolan recently said in an interview that he believes in this team, I don't think we're headed in that direction right now.
Knicks are
You heard him. Oh, let's say ESPN. Get off my screen, ESPN. You ain't paying me no damn money. Giving Stephen A. Smith $100 million for what? Straight trolling, being a fake fan. We'll get to that in a second. Brian Windhorst, you heard him there. The Knicks are not aggressively pursuing Giannis Antetokounmpo for who knows what reason. Giannis, if you go to the Warriors, you will succumb to the Steph Curry Death Star. You will not be considered a top 10 power forward of all time. They're going to fool you. Draymond, for some reason, has a hold over you guys. I don't know what they're thinking, but we are seeing here the Warriors are the front runners. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are the front runners to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. How does that come out? Of course, it's a bunch of draft picks. They can offer Jimmy Butler if they wanted to, but there's been a couple of other reports aside from this saying that there's a Draymond Green factor. Right? And you see it here. Brett Siegel is saying if the Giannis trade happens before the trade deadline, it will be with the Golden State Warriors. If anything happens, it won't be until Wednesday night at the earliest. They got the AI in effect right there. So, of course, plenty of reports, plenty of media members saying that the Warriors are the front runners. And, hey, it ain't just reporters saying this. No. It ain't just reporters saying this. You guessed it. The villain himself of the NBA. The real villain. The ones who call people out. The one who said, yo, what y'all doing podcasts for? Y'all are trash. You need to get back to playing basketball. Dylan, the villain, Brooks, has spoken. In case you missed it, here he is on his thoughts on where Giannis is going.
Where do you think Giannis is going to go, bro?
I heard the Warriors, bro.
That would be some bullshit.
I heard the Warriors.
I'm not trying to see Giannis and Steph Curry on the same team, man.
But that'd be so crazy. To like get a screen and roll with them, you're running off to fucking Steph to try to get a three. Those are the Giannis for a dunk. Like, just imagine like you have Giannis there instead of Draymond. Working that like two-man game.
It'll be over.
It'd be crazy.
And they have Jimmy, but he's injured for the season. But
Jimmy's gone.
Are you like
Jimmy's gone. There is Dylan Brooks confirming from the player side of things, the active player side of things. He lets the podcaster, the streamer do his job, and he appears as a guest. You know, the normal thing that athletes used to do. They didn't try to do two jobs. They just did their job. I'm not telling you to shut up and dribble. Dylan Brooks said that, Draymond. Not me. I didn't say none of that. But I digress. So you see there, the Warriors confirmed by Dylan Brooks as the probable whereabouts for Giannis by the end of the trade deadline. How can this happen, though? Here's an interesting article in Clutch Points. Inside the Warriors, all in, Giannis Antetokounmpo trade pursuit before the deadline. Will the Warriors trade for Giannis before the deadline? Here we go. Ever since report surfaced about Milwaukee actually fielding calls for the two-time MVP Giannis and expressing a level of openness they've never shown before to trading him. The NBA trade landscape has been put on hold. Teams around the league have been calling the Bucks to see if it's possible to acquire Giannis. Yeah. Over the last week, nothing has changed on the Bucks front. Get rid of this advertisement. How do you do this? The X is over here. These guys are sneaky advertising. Over the last week, nothing has changed on the Bucks front. Executive John Horst and his front office are hearing out every team that presents a compelling offer, and the Bucks still haven't signaled one way or another. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Stop with this bullshit. Well, it's time for the Milwaukee Bucks to make a decision, with the league as a whole split on their beliefs whether Giannis will be on the move before the trade deadline. And of course, it reports here the Heat, Knicks, Timberwolves, Raptors, and Nets are among teams that have already called out for Giannis. Then we have the Warriors, who have been waiting for this moment ever since Kevin Durant departed the franchise in 2019. Warriors owner Joe Lacob has long dreamed of having Giannis next to Stephen Curry, which is why Golden State has been the most aggressive team pursuing the Greek Freak leading up to this year's trade deadline. Now, detailing the Warriors' all-in pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Check this out. Last season, the Mavericks sent shockwaves across the NBA when they traded for Luka for Anthony Davis. This was the biggest question being asked among league personnel over the weekend. Could the Bucks completely alter the NBA trade landscape by putting Giannis on the trade block, right? So, despite the Bucks signaling that they will be buyers at the deadline, the overwhelming belief is that the NBA thinks that will be on a new that Giannis will be on a new team at the beginning of the 2026-2027 season. From Milwaukee's perspective, the idea of obtaining a high draft pick. How can I see it? From Milwaukee's perspective, the idea of obtaining a high draft pick, making some small upgrades at the trade deadline, and offering Giannis his 4-year, $275 million Supermax extension in the summer could possibly be enough to sway him. The future is unknown, but the present is not. Right now, the Warriors have been the most aggressive team pursuing Giannis, as the two organizations have talked at length about the idea of a Giannis trade. League sources briefed on the matter told Clutch Points Antetokounmpo is the one player Golden State is locked in on before the trade deadline, with Lacob and general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. on the same page about no player other than Curry being truly off limits. Unlike last year when the Warriors were heavily pursuing Kevin Durant and pivoted to Jimmy Butler, once talks for Durant fell through, this appears to be the Warriors' only option to add a star-level talent. So they said everybody, but Steph Curry's on the table. So you know who that means. You know who that means is on the table. They can only mean one thing. Look, without Jimmy Butler, the Warriors aren't getting to the NBA Finals, even if they added Giannis right now. If you leverage Draymond and get more assets, you can pull off the biggest blockbuster and leave these other teams wanting Giannis scrambling for answers. There is no doubt in my mind there are those who would immediately offer a first-round pick for Draymond to make a title push right now. I 100% believe there are teams who would essentially help the Warriors get Giannis if it meant they got Green for the next 3 or 4 months to pursue a title. This idea of trading Draymond now to get more assets for a trade with the Bucks, as the executive described it, could eventually lead to Green opting out of his contract in the summer and signing a more team-friendly deal with the Warriors as an unrestricted free agent. The only thing is that such a move will result in Green needing to accept a minimum contract. Would Green actually consider taking a $20 million plus pay cut for this to happen and finish his career on a minimum contract? Again, this is simply something brought up by the league personnel to Clutch Points and not necessarily something actively being talked about between the Warriors. We don't care about that, Clutch Points. We care about the bochinche. Cock. Are you kidding me? Draymond Green, the dirtiest player in the game. woo, Ric Flair style, is willing to help the Golden State Warriors get Giannis this year, then sign for a minimum contract and return probably for a lifetime contract with the Warriors, if that's on the table. Woo! The dirtiest player in the game is playing the dirtiest games, as usual. What do you guys think about that in the chat? Are you kidding me? Draymond Green is trying to go to help the Warriors acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo and then join them next year? Could be a sneaky way for them to say, hey, look, we could get killed two birds with one stone here. There's only one alpha. Giannis don't want me anyway. Whoever is, so the article is breaking down, there will be a team that will offer the Warriors a first-round draft pick to help them get Giannis so they can get Draymond Green to help them win a title. What teams could that possibly be? OKC. Who else? The Denver Nuggets, maybe. The Spurs, maybe. The Pistons. Do they have first-round draft picks? Any team that's willing to offer a first-round draft pick for Draymond Green is in desperation and will make a worse trade than the 5 draft picks from Mikal Bridges. Are you kidding me? That is what's on the table. I'm not making this up, folks. This is what's being talked about through league circles. I 100% believe there are teams who essentially would help the Warriors get Giannis if it meant they could get Draymond Green, for the next 3 months to pursue a title. I didn't make this up. There are people out there who are actually entertaining trading for Draymond Green in order to go for a title this year, give the Warriors a first-round draft pick to go get Giannis, and then what? What NBA team in their right mind would actually go help get Giannis traded to the Warriors so they can get Draymond back? Then you have Steph Curry there, and you're going on a title run, championship contention for 2 or 3 seasons. But that's what's in the air, folks. You tell me. Cash, what do you mean? What kind of trade is this? I read it out loud 3 times, my brother. I don't know how else to explain it to you. The conspiracy bochinche is out there. The 77th. Thank you for your 199. Yes, this is a WNBA championship roster, referring to the Knicks. Listen, the Knicks have to make a move. Nobody's a bigger OG and Anobi fan than me. But every time I heard Flea, AllBall, all these guys telling me, you make the move and you worry about it later. They were referring to players like Carlton Towns, Donovan Mitchell, everybody who's a subpar MVP candidate, never a true MVP candidate. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a certified MVP candidate every single year. What is there to talk about, folks? The Knicks, who are now on a high. And by the way, we are going to come on later, 8 p.m. tonight, to really address these things with the crew, AllBall, Big Flea, Big Fabian in the building. We will address and flame all you so-called fans who want to judge us because we have true deliberation on what it is to be a fan. If I don't like what Flea said, I'm calling him out. If he don't like what I said, he's calling me out. Guess why? Because we're grown men. And if you don't like it, what did AllBall say the other day? You could get the fuck out of here. That's what you could do. And that would be KNICKS Rehab. 8 p.m. tonight, we will address everything, specifically, these bums, these so-called Knicks fans who've been masquerading as true New Yorkers, as true orange and blue. Liars. Here they go. Here goes one of them. You guessed it. The abominable, the disgusting, not Monica McNutt. She's a beautiful young lady and she represents very well. Not Monica McNutt, but you'll hear the voice in a second. The troll himself.
Deal. The New York Knicks, since New Year's Eve, yes, they're on a 6-game winning streak. They also had 2 4-game losing streaks. So I got to keep my mind on that. And it's almost by default, Eminem and Wendy, and I couldn't wait to talk to y'all about this because I was sticking out my chest at the beginning of the season. Now, granted, I did it. You know, I was cheating a little bit because it was like Tyrese Halliburton got the torn Achilles, Jason Tatum got the torn Achilles, Damian Lillard tore the Achilles, and he ultimately is departed from Milwaukee, and he's back in Portland. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity, the best chance Knicks had in decades to get to the finals. They going to the NBA Finals. And I didn't pay enough attention to the Detroit Pistons. And so now as I'm looking and yeah, I see, you know, Toronto and Boston.
Cutting them off right there. We'll get back to this later. Probably play more of it later. I ain't playing no games with no damn Stephen A. Smith. What is he talking about? I didn't pay enough attention to the Detroit Pistons. Nobody did. What are you talking about once again? Nobody knew the Pistons were going to have a #1 seed. We knew where they were good since last January. We knew how they were playing since last January. Everybody was aware of this, but for them to take a leap like this is unheard of, unless you talk to the OKC Thunder from 2 seasons ago. But I digress. Stephen A. Smith, there's only one message for you, you punk ass, and your own coworker told you about it. Huh?
I think right now, I think you went so far that it's really no coming back. I think the Knicks fans don't want you back because you too damn wishy-washy when it comes down to the New York Knicks.
You heard him in the background, though, right? You heard this in the background?
I think the Knicks fans don't want you back because you too damn wishy-washy.
He said, I don't care. I don't care. This is what I'm talking about. If you guys ain't noticed, Pablo Torre hasn't been reporting jack about the New York Knicks and Jalen Brunson. You notice that? You know what Pablo Torre said on the Joe Budden show? Yo, man, I got to walk the streets of New York, and all I hear about is you leave Brunson alone. You leave Brunson alone. That's the problem with people like Stephen A. Smith. They parade and they mascot like they follow the Knicks. You could love me, hate me, like my takes, dislike my takes. It doesn't matter. You could disagree with them, say whatever you want. It's not that we don't agree with Stephen A. Smith takes. We don't believe you're a fan whatsoever. Whatsoever. You're a liar. Liar. Big time fraud. And this is the problem. The same way Pablo Torre got that message from us folks, got to start delivering that message to Stephen A. Smith. You see him in the streets, yo, stop talking about the Knicks, bro. You ain't no fan. Why you ain't stepped to LeBron? Maybe a couple of Knicks fans need to approach Stephen A. Smith like LeBron. I don't know. But we'll get back to it later. 8 p.m., Knicks Rehab in full effect. The Knicks are not aggressively pursuing Giannis Antetokounmpo, the frontrunners for Giannis himself are the Golden State Warriors. The Knicks go on a 5-game winning streak, and goddamn it, everybody forgets that we didn't have no K's in our name a couple nights ago. Y'all know who I be. And of course, y'all know what this is.
KNICKS REHAB.
8 p.m. tonight. Tune in. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.